gotta say anything, you let me know.
That's a most excellent idea, sire. Is it?
And you taught him what he needed to be a man. I'll give you that. Because most men ain't man enough to do what you did.
You've reached Kicking It with Keith C show. You've reached another episode of the Kicking It with Keith C show. And today is another one of those shows. It's always a special show that goes on. We pretty much, I've been doing this for a while now. And I've had, some unforgettable guests that have come on through my past. And, when they come on, they're always memorable. And the special guest that I have today, who really ain't a guest, but it is my wife, Angela. Say hello.
Hello.
And so today we have one of those shows that will be real special because of the fact that we're stepping on all kind of toes. We ain't naming no names and none of that type of stuff, but it's going to hit all kinds of areas. So that's the cool part about it, is it's a topic that needs to be said, needs to be heard, and when we jump into this thing, we won't be stopping. So we always call this the Bonnie and Clyde episode because me, she, and I, we like to look at ourselves as the local Jay-Z and Beyonce.
The older version of Jay-Z and Beyonce. Just a few years older. Except we're Jay-Z's age, but not Beyonce's age.
That's right. We don't have the money yet. But I'm claiming it, you know what I'm saying? I'm claiming it, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, today we're going to address some things. And the things that we're addressing is entitlement. And what I mean by entitlement is the entitlement is when a person feels like they have a need for something that they deserve. And what I mean by that, they deserve something that in their way, they didn't put anything in it. They didn't put any hard work in it. They didn't put any type of effort into it, but yet they're getting or feel like they should be getting something. You know what I mean by that? So me and my wife, we discuss it all the time. We discuss people who think we owe them something.
Not just us, Kesey and Angela, just people in general with this whole mentality and mindset that they're deserving, or because they have some type of relationship, whether it be familial, if it's family or a friend, or because there's some type of connection there. They're due something. Maybe they didn't pay for something, but because you are related to them in some way, some type of intimate way, that you should do something, even though they didn't do anything to earn it or help you get it. They feel like they're entitled to it for some reason.
That is correct. And so let's go right into it. Number one, we always speak about the youth of today because we have discussions with our own kids.
3 of them, mind you.
and a lot of times they might not have put in hard work or what's the word? Let's go into just some hot examples of this. All right. So we have some kids. Everyone now has phones. We know that. And we like our kids to have nice things. So our kids have our oldest son who's in college and deservedly so has an iPhone.
Deanless kid.
Yep. He has an iPhone 6 right now. All right. That's number one. He has an iPhone 6. Our middle son has a hand-me-down iPhone. And then our
5S.
youngest, and our youngest one has. No, she doesn't have an iPhone anymore. She has a Samsung now, and it's an older Samsung. But yeah, accordingly, they have what everybody else has of their age peers.
Smartphones.
Right. So when I say entitlement, all right, let's
talk about that middle kid though. Talk about the middle kid and what he asked for his birthday. Talk about that.
Oh yeah. So he right now has a 5S.
Perfectly good working condition 5S, mind you. Not a scratch on it.
Right. So he's probably had it less than a year now. Mm-hmm. So his birthday is going by, and he writes us a letter. He writes a letter to us.
A formal letter.
I think it was an assignment in school. We had to write this letter. But he wrote this letter, and he basically was asking us, it was a proposal that said, hey, can I get a new iPhone 6S Plus for my birthday? And we're like, okay, are you kidding me? I mean, it ain't much difference. There's not much difference between an iPhone 5 and an iPhone 6 in reality. I know the 6S Plus is a way larger phone.
Right.
But, okay, what kind of features?
And functionality.
Yeah, what kind of features does a 6 have that a 5 doesn't? You know what I mean? First off, they're just texting. They're on the internet.
YouTube.
And they're making calls.
And YouTube.
Surfing
Watching
internet.
videos.
Watching videos. So,
and taking pics.
Does the 6 do anything different than the 5 does as far as those things?
The 6S Plus, babe. Not just the 6S.
Okay. Does the 6S Plus do anything different?
It looks different because it's larger. But as far as the features, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. But my point was this. Is first of all, we're talking about this middle-aged kid. Now, we love our kids equally. I know you guys have heard that from your parents too, but it's true. We love them all equally. But we always tell them we don't pay for or support bad behavior or the lack of responsibility. And so this middle kid, he has tutors, he's got, working on his math, working on his science grades, but he has the audacity, the unmitigated, he just has the nerve with C's and a D to come and ask for an iPhone 6S Plus, mind you. His grades ain't even up to par.
And our motto here is to not reward mediocrity.
We don't do that. I'm sorry. When you go above and beyond, then we will too. But until you do that, you will stay where you are. When you prove to us that you are responsible and that you're ready to take care of this phone is like $1,000 damn near. And you're coming to your parents who work every day for you to just get it for free, and you and me got mediocre grades? Not here. Not in the Ingram manner. No, sir. No, ma'am.
Not at all.
And I am shaking my head, and yes, rolling my eyes and my neck. Mm-hmm.
We are stepping on toes today, and we ain't ashamed of it today. You know who we got to call out? We got to call out our niece.
Oh, gosh.
We got to call out our niece.
Good kid, in college, does well in college. Tell about her, Kesey.
Okay. So, we're calling out a niece because of the fact that, all right, our older son that's in college and our niece are not as good with their phones as the middle kid because
they dropped them, lost them, broke them, cracked screens.
You got to get them repaired. It's like $100 and something dollars. It's $130 the last time our son did his. Then he cracked his like last month.
That was 3 weeks ago.
All right, 3 weeks ago.
Been a month.
Right. So he cracked his screen. And now he had it's probably record time for him normally because he normally would crack this screen way earlier. And number one, I believe, and we put maybe it's my fault I didn't give him the tempered glass in time, but we are proponents of a tempered glass.
For y'all who don't know what that is, Kesey, what a tempered glass is for your, it doesn't matter if it's an iPhone, an Android, whatever, any of your devices, iPad, Kindle. Tell them what the tempered glass is, babe.
It's a thin sheet of plastic that you can buy on eBay, on Amazon. It's like $6, maybe $7. It's a piece of plastic. It's pretty much made for every phone. If you look it up, you put this sleeve of plastic over the screen of the phone. If you drop the phone, it cracks the plastic and not the screen of your phone. And you can't even tell it's on your phone. It's very thin and very evasive.
So that means it's basically a shatterproof. So it's a shatterproof protective plastic piece that you put over the top of the face of your device. And y'all, it will save you some money. Has it not saved us some money? Because y'all know, if y'all don't know, Kesey knows. We are a house full of clumsy people. All of us are a bunch of goofy people. We drop and break things all the time.
That is correct. So we like to have, we like our kids to have pretty decent items. You know what I mean? We like to make sure they have different things here. Hey, shout out to my brother in the chat room too. I see you in there, man. He said,
"What's up, bro?"
He said the 6S Plus is that fire, but I'm an Android man. Don't no kid need a grown up phone though.
If they have a grown-up job and they want to pay for it, come out of their own grown-up on the way pocket, I'm okay with that. But since he does not have that, it ain't happening over here.
It is not happening over here. So, back to these phones. All right, so my niece and my son are the worst when it comes to these devices. My niece, as of a week or so ago, lost hers. I don't know if she lost it. She said it was stolen, so I think she left it. She was maybe in the cafeteria in college. She left it on the table, walked away, came back, it was gone. All right. She says the Find My iPhone did not work. It says something about it's offline and it won't locate until it comes back online. All right. So my issue with her, hey, nobody's exempt here. My issue with her is, okay, we know you're bad with your phone, and we know you're a college student, and we went out of town for a funeral, and when we went out of town, she didn't have a phone. So we're looking at, okay, what's a quick solution to get her a phone?
Until she can get the phone that she wants, mind you. This is just a short-term solution for her right now problem.
Right. So my mother-in-law has a phone that she's no longer on the plan. She has a phone that my niece can actually borrow.
We suggested to her a number of times, borrow your grandmother's phone in the interim until you get back to school and find a phone that you like.
All right. So instead of doing that, because she says she works 2 jobs, she says, I'm going to get the phone that I want. But can you quote, because I didn't hear the exact words, can you say the exact quote that my niece said in regards to this phone, this temporary phone?
Now, this is what she said about a temporary phone. Under no circumstances would I ever use that phone. It is not the top of the line Samsung Galaxy, whatever. The new 6 is the new one right now. I know they're coming out with a 7, but it was not a 6 or a 7. So she, under any circumstances will I ever use that Android. The audacity!
No, I don't think if it was a 6 or 7, she would even picked up an Android. I think she was so iPhone-ish that she was like, there's no chance that I will ever touch an Android.
Basically. And it was supposed to be a short-term solution. She said she will just go without a phone. She'd rather use her computer to make calls, is what she said.
That is exactly what she said. So right now, she's phoneless.
So you mean to tell me she'd rather use a computer that she carries around, a computer, than getting a short-term phone that she does not like until she can afford to get the phone that she wants?
It's an issue. Hey, we'll tackle this. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue on with this. And there ain't nobody else exempt. We got some more.
All right, let's pause for a break.
Whole Team Enterprises, a full-service graphics and marketing company that will take your company's image to the next level, specializing in graphic design, web hosting, printing, video editing, event planning, and more. They are cost-effective, professional, and have an awesome quick turnaround. Please give them a call at 888-755-0036 or visit them online at www.wholeteam.com. Be sure to get your car serviced by the professionals at ICN Services, located in the Buckhead area of Atlanta. They are a full-service automobile concierge service who are an on-site automobile detailing provider with the advantages of their come-to-you service. Your car can get their needs taken care of while you continue your day. They will take your vehicle to appointments, inspections, repairs, returns, and more. Find them online at www.itscleannow.com.
or reach them at 404-934-0675.
Go see my guys at Platinum Auto Accessories in Lithonia, Georgia. They can get your car audio needs tight. In addition to the audio enhancements, they specialize in visual enhancements for your car as well. Lighting, rims, alarm systems, remote starts, and more. Visit Kevin and James with some of the best deals in the Atlanta metro area. Conveniently located at 2648 Lithonia Industrial Boulevard, off I-20 and the Evans Mill exit. Also give them a call at 678-323-7888. Mention this ad for a special discount. Friends of the Kicking It with Key C show.
You reach Kicking It with Key C show.
All right, you're back with the Kicking It with Key C show, and we're back from the break. Thank you for listening, and also want to give a shout out to my listeners here on the SME Network, Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. We're coming live through that network as well. And again, we've got my wife here on with us, the Bonnie and Clyde episode, we call it, and we are tackling the issue of entitlement. We were just talking about my niece, and we're talking about my son. And we're just talking about the youth of the day. And, they just don't know a hard day's work. And they don't have a sense of value or worth of, what costs of things are. And, they just feel like things should just be laid out to them. And they say this whole generation's that way. What do they call them? Millennials, that's the word. The millennials here, they just think everything is just laid out for them. They go, what did my son say today? We were just talking about the middle son. We were putting a fence up yesterday. Me, my brother, my brother-in-law, and then my coworker. We're putting a fence up. And I just thought to myself, like, man, I should supposed to have my son out there at the same time while we're doing this fence so he can at least learn the process. Because I don't know how to put up a fence. It's kind of like we all learned at that time while we were doing it. Right. But he was inside.
So while he was inside, I guess Keith and I were thinking about the same thing. So he's thinking, our son should be out here working with, these other three men that we have here just to kind of show him, in case, he buys a home one day, has a fence he needs to repair or whatever. So I'd say to my son, I said, you know what, you should be out there helping your dad and your uncles with the fence. And he's like, Mom, have you ever heard of this thing called YouTube? If I have anything that I need to fix, I can just go to YouTube. You should try it. Yes.
Wow. They don't even understand.
He's right.
YouTube is out of control now. It's like, I know YouTube has a lot of things. In fact, I ain't gonna lie, YouTube has helped me. You know what I mean? But at some point, you have to just get out and try some things. But
it's called experience and hands-on experience. Experience. When do you get the experience if you're just looking at someone else's experience via video, but your hands have never touched the materials or the tools to actually do the job? Does that make sense to you?
That's right. You know what? Because I believe he thinks from YouTube he probably can fix anything. Like, yeah, I can go build a house because YouTube shows me how to do it.
I think he might be right. But I think because he is a millennial, that they have this unrealistic view of the world and the things that make life and life in general. I really think so until they actually get out and learn that. I'm not really sure how that evolved, this whole thought process that they have. It's actually kind of intriguing to me because my thought process and the way that I grew up and the things that I know are so different. And these kids came from me. And it's like, how in the heck did they get here? How did they get this mindset? Right.
Shots fired. Bow. We're going to move on to the next set. All right. We're done with that one. We buried that one. All right. So next, shots fired. Okay. So we had a family member who needed to borrow some money from us. I'm not even going to say names on this one, but we had a family member borrow some money from us, and when it came around time, because the person said, okay, we're gonna pay, I will pay you back on Friday. All right. So if somebody says they're gonna pay you back on a Friday next week or whatever, you're expecting when Friday comes around what to happen? You expect to get paid on Friday, right?
Well, this is what I expect. My expectation level is a little bit higher than others.
All right.
I expect them to reach out to me. I shouldn't have to call you. I shouldn't have to text you. I shouldn't have to hound you. When you know that your check hit, direct deposit, or you pick it up at noon, or you pick it up when you get off at 5, my number should be the first number you dial.
Okay.
That's my expectation.
Now, if you're blowing up that person because you call them and say, okay, they didn't call you. You call them the next day because you didn't hear from them. And then you call them the next day and you hear from them. And then you hear word from another sibling, like another source or sibling that says, man, why they sweating me over this $20? All it was $20. Ooh. Wouldn't that burn you up?
That would burn me up.
Because first off, it don't matter how much the amount was. They borrowed it and they didn't return on the time that they said they were going to return it, and then didn't have the audacity to call you and let you know, but they just avoid, they purposely see that you're calling, and then they like got an attitude about your money.
And about you calling about your money. But it was only that little $20. But apparently it wasn't that little because because you didn't have it when you asked me for it. So it ain't that little.
That is entitlement. Woo!
And it's not. We know this happens to everybody. And please do not take this the wrong way with this whole conversation that we're having. We're not disgruntled family members with our niece, with our son, or whatever. We're just talking about life experiences and this whole sense of the way things are perceived these days. Because I know my grandfather and my grandmother came up, and they are very dear to me. These are people who I learned life lessons from about everything, about marriage, about family, about work ethic. I saw my grandfather work for the city, the town that we lived in, 40 plus hours a week. But then I saw him almost every day. After he got off work, he had a side hustle of work. That's all I saw him do. And that's what I knew he was good at. I saw some of his playtime because he loved to fish and hunt and do those things. But it was so balanced, his work and the time he played. I thought all the man did was work.
Right.
So nowadays, like I said, I know the value of $1. I know the value of hard work because I saw that all my life. And it's like my kids don't see that because they think I sit at a desk. They think you don't do nothing. Because he sits at a desk and work on whatever, they think that our work is not as hard work.
Right. All right. We're still continuing on here. All right. Let's go with... We'll say this. We have younger family members of ours. And we know we've gone through, in our 20s, some questionable times because we weren't always diligent.
Times, behavior.
Yeah, we weren't always diligent with our money and our financial management. So we know times are tough for some of our family members, and we know we didn't do certain things. We didn't have the right discipline when it came to paying certain bills and certain things. We were like, okay.
Living for today.
Yeah, living for today. That's the exact word. Living for today. I ain't got to pay this, whatever.
I'll do it later.
If collections come, oh well.
I'll pay them.
Yep. So now we got some people in family who cannot get certain items in their name. Right? So instead of getting these items in their name, they have to jump on with us. And we might have a plan or co-sign the bill or whatever. No, I'm sorry. We did not. We don't co-sign. That is not the word. Wrong word. We don't co-sign. That is actually our no. We actually taught our kids never do that. I don't care. Co-sign.
We told our kids, but I'm not really sure if they get it. I think the oldest one does. The two younger ones are a little softer. So I'm not sure if they get it yet. But, we keep talking to them about how important it is and how that can really destroy your credit, those types of things. And these are conversations that no one had with us. No one had these conversations with us.
And that's not discrediting our parents.
Not at all, because nobody had that conversation with them.
Right.
So I understand why things are the way they are, but we have to change these generational behaviors that are, a detriment to our society and to us as a people. We have to change that. And these conversations about money and entitlement and work and family and just life in general, we don't talk enough about the detriment of irresponsible, bad behavior. We really don't. We don't want to talk about things that are the truth sometimes in this community. I'm sorry. It's just how I feel.
That's correct.
We just throw a lot of things away, and we don't sit around and talk about the importance of being a family unit. You know what I mean? That's really important to me still, and I think people think it's like fairy tale-ish or it's not realistic, but it's realistic in my life because I won't have it any other way.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. Actually, we're gonna hit that one after the next break. We're gonna jump on that because I've been debating with somebody on Facebook today, and we'll jump into that topic after that next break. But when I speak about entitlement, this one is the worst one. It kind of makes me laugh, but it is sad. All right. So, a family member passed. All right. This family member passed, and another family member was taking care of the insurance on that family member. Right. And when a family member passed, this small policy, I think it was like $5,000, right?
It was a small policy.
Right. So it was a small policy that took care of some of the small needs. All right. Now, would you think that if you did this policy, if you took care of this policy, when this policy paid out that small amount of money to take care of your things, would you think that that money belongs to you, the person who paid for the policy?
That's usually how that works.
Right.
If you have been financially responsible for the payment of the policy and you are the beneficiary on the policy, then that policy, when it is funded and when it's paid out,
right,
it's paid to you.
Do you think any siblings should have their hand out for this small amount of money?
I mean, this is me. Of course I don't think that, because if you didn't pay on it, you don't get anything. That's not what it's for. And if you felt like you wanted to take care of or be responsible for some of those things, whatever they were, then you should have had your own policy or helped to pay for the one that was in place. That's my whole thing. But see, that's when I talk about these conversations we should have. I don't know what it is about our community. We think that we're going to live forever.
That's
you think
correct.
we're going to live forever? I mean, then you have to be planning for the inevitable. Not that you sit around and think about it all day. Not that you sit around and hope that anything bad happens. It's life and death. That's the cycle.
Oh.
That's the cycle. I mean, it took you didn't even, when we got married, you didn't understand how important it was to me either. Because you're like, okay, why are you even focusing on this? Because I had somebody who I loved before you,
right,
walk out the door and then never come home. And I never saw them again.
Wow.
Because it was that time.
Right.
It was their time.
Right.
So I said I would never be in a position again where, this person that I love and planned my life with, my life partner, I thought, God had something different, aligned for me because he brought me you, but it was no preparation there. And I said I'd never been in a situation again. So when we were married, and before we even married, we talked about the things that we wanted, the structure of our family, our finances, and we're still working on that. Just because we call out people on this podcast, this show, does not mean that we're perfect.
Right.
There's
Shots
no
fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. That's right. We shoot them. We shooting.
Yeah, and we're shooting ourselves because we just told you we made bad decisions.
Yes,
too.
we did. Yes, we
did. But the problem is when you continuously make the same stupid decisions over and over again. Because at first it's a mistake, but continuously doing the detriment to yourself is a choice.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a difference between a mistake and a choice. After the second time, it's not a mistake. It's
right.
a choice.
Right. Now. All right. So the other thing, that's because I actually spoke about that on my last podcast, and that's about getting your stuff together when it comes to life insurance and stuff like that. Because
and a will.
Because when you're gone, it's the audacity of you passing away.
Yes.
And leaving your family with debt to pay for. They got to pay your debt. They got to pay for your burial. They got to pay for You're passing. You know what I mean? And
that is so irresponsible.
That is correct.
It's so irresponsible and it's selfish. I feel like it's selfish because you know the outcome. You know the end result eventually. Whether you're sick, whether you're not sick, you know that one day, God is going to call you home. One day. So it's up to you as an adult. And especially if you have, you have children, it's your responsibility. And it leaves them with something when you've prepared for your exit from this life.
All right. We're going to take another break. We come back. We're going to continue on with this.
All right, let's pause for a break.
Next time you're in the need of video production or editing, give my guys Masterminds Production a call. They're based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and they specialize in short films, concerts, music videos, sporting events, promotional videos, commercials, weddings, fashion and photography, all at affordable rates to accommodate your budget. You can reach them online at www.mastermindtv.net or give them a call, 678-420-8494. Mastermind Production.
If you're a fan of the Kicking It with Key C show, you also can find my app on all of the different mobile outlets, on the Google Play Store, on the Apple Store, and also on the BlackBerry world. You can find me on Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Mixcloud, iTunes, and more. Be sure to download the mobile app.
www.keysee.com. That's www.kysii.com.
You've reached Kicking It with Key C show.
Welcome to the future. Blueprint 3. Hey, count me in. Find me a nice soft place to land. I'm so high.
You're back with the Kicking It with Key C show. Thanks once again for supporting me, man. Thanks for following me at keysee.com and also downloading the mobile app. And if you're listening to me on Spreaker, definitely follow me there on Spreaker. It's Key C, Kysii. You'll see me in a variety of different places. And I'm on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Mixcloud, SoundCloud, all those different places. So anyway, I got my wife here with me. Thanks for coming out here with me. And we, in this last segment, we're going to continue on with our discussion. And don't nobody owe you nothing.
Don't nobody owe you nothing. And that should be the life motto that we all carry around, because don't nobody owe you jack.
All right.
Oh, yeah, this is Mrs. Kesey.
This next segment I'm dedicating to, like I said, I was speaking with the guy online here on Facebook, and it ain't just him, but it was in regard to the Jordan epidemic and I call it an epidemic, but we got a dang on problem here in our neighborhoods, in our community,
in our household. It's not just in the neighborhoods; it's in our household. We're telling you and talking about these things because these are all things that we have experienced. Like I said, we're not untouchable. We're not sitting around with these same issues that other people have. I promise you, we just not.
Yes. All right. So our middle son is...
And once again, it's always that middle child. It's always one.
Sneakerhead Jordans. I don't care what Jordan come out. Well, there's a couple that he says, okay, I wouldn't wear them. But he has a fixation. Wait a minute, that's not the good word. A fixation.
A fixation.
Fixation is to choke somebody, right? Yeah. Well, he gets choked by... But basically, he loves Jordans. And I don't know, it's all the kids around now. I mean, it's just a sneaker,
not
you know what I mean?
Kids, but
most of the kids.
Kids of color.
That is correct. Why? What has this shoe? I mean, I know there was things. When we came up, there were items, there were things.
Yes.
They didn't cost $190 to $300.
True, but also the cost of living back then was way lower also. So you have to put it all in perspective. And I don't know if it's the Jordan. For me, the Jordan thing with our middle son is a problem for me because, I understand he wants to be stylish. He get that from his mom. I get it. I'm okay with the style, wanting to be stylish, but I have a problem when, first of all, you expect your parents to shell out $300 for a pair of sneakers. I'm married to Kesey Ingram. That ain't gonna happen. Number one.
The Black Clark Howard.
The Black Clark Howard. And number two, you don't even have money in your savings account saving money for things that you want to buy on your own, but you want us to come out of pocket for $300 for a pair of sneakers that you may grow out of in 3-4 months? Nah, not on my watch. So right now with Kyle, we'll match him. We'll give you $100 for some shoes, and whatever else they cost after that, you got to save, get them from your birthday money, your grandmama, your granddaddy, your friends, your hustle, sweeping up hair at the barbershop, whatever he'll do to get the rest of it. We do that.
But here's my problem, because he kind of slightly gets it. My problem with it is I try to speak to him about, all right, items and things aren't,
That's true.
They're not that important. Planning for your future and saving is important. And he kind of saves a little bit. But
better than his sister and his brother.
Yeah, better than his sister and his brother. But he got to have certain things.
It's still too important to him, is what you're saying.
Yes, it's like it overrules that. He knows the importance of saving. He kind of got in his head, he knows that, but he still ain't no saver per se, because
he's better than the other ones, but
he'll put his money together. He'll save his money, but it's to get that end goal. It's to get those sneakers. You know what I mean? So he'll wait. He can take 6 months and save it, but at the end, he gonna blow it on that $300-something pair of sneakers. And they're walking around. They're just sneakers. All right. So here's my issue. I looked at the caption. It all started because there was a picture. These new releases, actually retros that re-released yesterday.
So some old stuff that was sold before now came back now it's new stuff. Right. It's being sold for double what it was sold for originally.
Right. So Jordan getting his money.
That is ingenious.
Jordan, the corporation, is getting his money. The Hall of Famer Jordan is getting his money from our community spending their extraneous income on these shoes. So it's tax time. I know people got a little bit of extra money.
I want some.
And I'm not even trying to make this even bigger than it is, because the whole tax time thing.
We'll talk about that on another show. We're just mad because you ain't getting no tax money coming. That's what the real issue is, PC.
We don't have. Our problem is, okay, we're not leaving behind legacies here as a community. I know people are like, what's wrong with buying nice things? I want my kid to have nice things. Okay, if you have it like that, and your kid is standing in line because you've got an enormous income and you've got savings and you've got all your stuff, priorities and all that stuff in line. Okay, this is not aimed at you. It's aimed at those kids who this is their only income, or they aren't, their whole priorities is screwed up right now. Right. You know what I mean? They don't even have their books in a book bag, or they don't have things that they need. Right. They have their wants taken care of, but they don't have their needs taken care of.
That's it.
You know what I mean? That's the real breakdown right there. They have their wants taken care of, but they don't have their needs taken care of.
And as a parents who because if a 14-year-old, 13-year-old is running around here with Jordans on, but his grades are suffering, y'all living in the projects or living in low-income housing, or you don't have a car, or you don't have this and you don't have that, that means you really can't afford those Jordans, because that means if you're using $300 to pay for a pair of sneakers that your child will grow out of, and you don't have $300 in the bank, that's a problem.
That's a problem. Ring the alarm on them. Ring the alarm on them. I'm ringing the alarm on them.
Because I just don't. I can't get it through my head how, I don't own a car, or I don't own a home. I don't. Even if you don't own, if you rent your home and you don't have 2 or 3 months of savings for it, if anything happens, if you lose your job or anything happens, but your child got a $300 pair of sneakers that can pay your light bill.
Oh, somebody listening to us saying, you uppity ass Negroes is judging me.
No judgment at all. I'm just telling the truth. These are facts. These are facts. If you want to change your life, you have to change the way you think. Because you can't blame other people when you have issues that arise in your life 3 months from now when you can't pay a bill, but you got your child wearing these $300 sneakers. It just doesn't make sense. If you want better, you have to live better. You have to change the way you think. That's the first part of change. It's the thought process. Your thoughts, the way you think about things has to be different. It has to change.
That is correct.
That's all I'm saying. We started this show out saying that we are not calling any names, but we are also saying let's be responsible and let's take accountability for our actions or our lack of action. Because when I mess up, and Kesey will tell you, I will be the first person to say, you know what, I messed up, I'm wrong. And that's all we're saying to people is take accountability for your actions and yours. I take accountability for where I lack in showing my child something or teaching them something, because that's my job. And I'm going to do good I'm going to do well on my job. That's my job. So if you care about the way your child turns out, and not to say that even if you invest, all this great positive, these things in your child, they won't turn out to be something other than what you like. And that's just life. But at least you've done all that you could do. So I think we fail our kids when we set them up with this whole mentality of entitlement. And I think with the Jordan thing, I understand the legacy. I understand the legacy of Jordan. I understand he's the greatest that ever lived. Watched him during those times, and I'm sure that probably dates me, but still, I understand all that. But for me, I wouldn't get enough out of it, for me personally. I mean, as a young man, as our son, I still don't know what he actually gets out of it. I think we talked earlier, we said possibly, looking like a baller or looking like you have money or status or fashion.
Right.
What do you think it is that they get out of it?
I think it's just one of those things in right now. You know what I mean? There was always things that were in. Just think about it when we was coming up. You had the black and red pair of Air Jordans. So everybody had them. You had Air Force Ones. You had starter jackets. You had those things. Starter jackets might have been $100-something in when we were coming up. You know what I mean? But then you got people that were robbing and shooting and killing for certain items. And they're doing that for Jordans today. So it's obviously it's a status. It's a appearance of having wealth.
Yeah.
It's just a we have problems in our community.
I mean, I don't know
African
any
Americans,
other
we have problems.
any type of merchandise that has the same type of appeal. I'm not really sure.
But are y'all getting junk for Coach bags and Gucci bags right now? Is somebody gonna run out there and run up on you for that?
I don't think so, but I know that people would if you got a nice car, would carjack you or whatever. But I haven't had anybody just run up on me because of a nice bag. Right,
because I believe I don't know. I believe because it's now involving the young black youth who those things that are surrounded around them have more so of this epidemic than the other items of status. Because as an older person, like the guy had on the post that I was debating when he says we all have our evil, we all have something that we're into. Right. So, but the difference is we got money to pay for that. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Whether you want a Coach bag or a Gucci bag, if you got your savings in order and you got some life insurance in case you pass away, and you got some items in order,
then you can do that.
You can do that. You can have your Gucci bag, or you can drive a Lexus, or you can drive a Mercedes, or you can drive a Jaguar, or how about a Tesla?
Oh, you know I want a Tesla so bad. Next year, 2017, I want a Tesla.
Hey, maybe these folks can hit the donate button on Kesey.com. They can sponsor this Tesla coming up.
Kesey can work some overtime and donate to his wife's Tesla fund. How about that?
Hey, don't tell nobody I got a job. I only do Kesey.com. That's how I get paid. What you talking about?
Anyway,
we are up on our time here. Time always flies when we're having fun here. And we've covered 1,000 topics all in 45 minutes. And I know that it's been rough. You know I love you.
Love you too.
Yes. People love our shows when we come on. It's one of the favorites because you're an entertaining person.
Really?
You know, they're like, man, that dude's cool. But when his wife's on, it's excellent.
Chemistry.
Yes, the chemistry. That's exactly what it is. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with Kesey on the Kicking It with Kesey show. Find me at Kesey.com. Find me on the mobile app, Kicking It with Kesey, and all the different platforms. You got any last words, anything?
No, just keep God first and do all things with love.
That is correct. Also, says a disclaimer with we might have some mad family members. Your son might call you in a minute.
But yeah, this show is not just about us. It's about everybody and things that we're just trying to change lives, change thought processes so we can live a better life. So if you got, in your feelings about this, oh well.
Yes, that is correct. So thank everybody. And we are out.